Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, All She Knows. Today I have with me Shannon from Healing Elements. She is very great. I feel like we have a lot to learn from her. She has a great channel and I'm really glad we met. She's super nice and helpful. And so today we're going to talk about depression. I want to let you know that today is not meant to replace treatment from a doctor. It's not meant to cure or treat or prevent any depression or disease. I definitely advise seeing a doctor about any depression you may be having. If you're having bad thoughts or feeling down, talk to somebody. Definitely reach out to somebody because there are people that want to help you and is more than willing to help people. And even if you think they don't understand, they will try to understand and help you the best that they can. So if you know anybody that's suffering, definitely reach out to them and try to help them. And also, we're both learning and growing, and this is new to us, but we just want to share our experiences and tell you and give you tools that will help you, that things that we've done that have helped us along our journey through depression and anxiety, which, sometimes we still suffer. I'm been doing a lot better. I gladly not been having depression problems for close to 8 years now. But I do still have times that I'm down, but I go back to the things that I've learned that took me a very long time to learn. I know that I definitely needed advice, understanding, and there was many times that I couldn't find that, and so that's when I turned for help. And because I wanted to be happy and I wanted to live, but I also was fearful of myself and my thoughts. And your thoughts are very powerful. So we have to be careful and aware. So don't ignore it. So I'm also introverted. So me, myself, I keep things in. You wouldn't necessarily notice if I'm upset because I hold it in. I'm quiet. Are you like that? Are you introverted or extroverted?
I'm not, but my youngest daughter is, and I find that it's a double-edged sword to be both introverted or extroverted when you're dealing with emotions. Sometimes I feel like I come off too hyper or crazy or ecstatically dramatic, and then my daughter will hold it in, and like you said, you won't know that something is going on. And so both can create, I think, a reaction to people that maybe is expected, but it might not be the most effective way to get help. But I love what you said about it took the same thing for me to reach out for help that was outside of my internal structure. So
Yes, I wanted to say that sometimes when we're down, depressed, we kind of are looking for like a hero or somebody to save us, just to save us from these feelings, these thoughts. But a lot of times they may be there for us and love us, but they may not understand what we have going on in our reality, what our thoughts are saying to us. They may not understand or see. We don't always understand. Like when I was looking for help and people were not understanding me, how could they? Because I couldn't even understand myself at first. So it's definitely these tools that I'm going to give are definitely what helped me to understand myself better because I had to save myself. I had to try to save myself, but first I got help. First, I went to the doctor and I told them everything that was going on, how I was feeling. And I was 16 when I first went for help. I had been dealing with it for a while and didn't know how to deal with it, didn't know why I was feeling this way, but I was feeling upset all the time, easily frustrated. I wasn't sleeping well. I was having insomnia. And it's definitely not something I felt like I could talk to my family about. I didn't feel that they were understanding about that, whether they say they were or weren't. I didn't push that issue. So I definitely kept it in, and that was definitely something that was boiling inside of me. But I knew that the thoughts I was having were starting to scare me because I wanted to live, but at the same time, I didn't care if I did live, and that's really scary. So I went to the doctor and I told them everything, and they said that I had clinical depression and they wanted to try me on medication. And I didn't know a lot about it. My mom advised that I do try it. And so I did. They also gave me a small bit of counseling and they recommended that I get therapy, which I wasn't able to do. I didn't have those resources available to me because insurance and stuff. So it wasn't exactly cheap. So that's definitely something a lot of people suffer with is they don't have the resources to get help. They don't have the money to get help. That's definitely why you definitely have to take a big step and make the decision for yourself to get help or help yourself. Me, I was able to get medication, and what that did for me is it helped my serotonin levels, which in the beginning I was having a lot of negative thoughts, and I wasn't ever able to make room in my mind for positive thoughts. And so with that, when I started taking the medicine, at first I became like day one, I noticed a big difference, but I didn't know if it was good or bad. The first thing I noticed is that I was blank mind. I was a blank slate, and I wasn't get upset by anything. And I thought, okay, this isn't good. What was happening was it was actually allowing me to not, I was just always so negative, upset. I was just not upset, is what it was. And I realized I can have thoughts. I was starting to have thoughts, but they were positive. I was able to have room for good thoughts. And it wasn't that I was blank minded, I just wasn't upset anymore. That's all that was going on in my mind. Does that make sense?
Totally makes sense. And I know what you mean about that feeling. I also tried medication, and that first feeling, you described it really well. I would say I'm numb, but I think that you described it. I think that it's just getting used to not having those ruminating type of negative self-talk, right?
Yeah, because it releases serotonin in your brain, which is what allows you to be happy, calm. It can do a lot of things. So while that was releasing the right amount of serotonin to make my brain level-headed, I wasn't used to that. So I thought, oh my God, what's going on? But really, it was a good thing. I let it be. And I realized, okay, hey, this is great. I'm not getting upset. I don't feel upset. I'm able to clear my mind. My mind was getting cleared. So that's when I decided to get down to business and figure out what my problem was. First thing I started to do, I did a little bit of research. I wasn't much into computers then. And in fact, I was so behind on like social media stuff. My family was on Facebook 5 years before me. And like, oh, get on Facebook. I was like, what's that? I did not even care about anything like that.
Not a
I
techie.
was just a worker and a family person. I didn't care about social media. I'm still not huge with social media, but I do get on there, talk to family and friends because I live far away from family for that. And look, we can talk, me and you, like this. So it's great.
Yes.
I love it. So I started journaling, and this is one thing you can do. Journaling, you can, I would say, just take it slow if you don't like to write or journal. It's definitely a big way for you to understand what's going on in your life. It's just showing you some structure, showing you like a movie or like a book what is going on. So I recommend writing down positive things about yourself, because first off, you want to remove a lot of negativity from your life. But of course, it isn't going to happen overnight. But the first thing you want to do is understand what's going on. So I recommend journaling, writing down positive things about yourself, things that you love to do, positive things that are happening in your life, and things that you're grateful for, everything that you're grateful for. It is huge to realize what you have to be grateful for in life. And writing things down, I just can't even explain what it does. I mean, it has changed my life. I'm writing notes all the time, writing about my life, and it really can change your thought patterns, and rereading things can definitely change the way you think. Agreed?
Agreed. Agreed. I had a question for you about that. I just go with the whole free writing concept, like whatever I sit down and that night, I usually don't have a topic. Do you structure it? Do you have a topic? Because I'm playing around, obviously, as we grow to try to do new things. Do you go in and put on a top of your journal a header? Like, I want to write about this period of time in my life, or my marriage, or my occupation, or things like that? Or do you just go ahead and free write?
No, I free write whatever's on my mind at that time. If I'm feeling good, bad, negative, whatever I'm feeling and going through, whatever I feel I want to write about is what I write about. And then if I want to title it so I remember what I wrote about, I'll write that at the top. But I never go in structured knowing what I'm going to write about. I just go in and let my feelings flow. And I'm never really good at explaining how I feel or think. I think I'm getting better at it because I'm used to just dealing with it inside. I'm not used to explaining it, writing out. But writing it out was such a release, such a relief. It like took away a lot of the pain, like the feelings I was feeling, the negativity. It felt better. It felt like I was telling somebody and they were hearing me or understanding me. But writing it down just perform miracles for me.
Your journal is like your therapist almost, right? And it's like you're releasing that energy into something, right? It's going onto the paper. So I love that,
I totally agree. So writing all these things down, you don't have to be structured. That's just something I recommend to help you. But definitely free writing just about your day, how you feel. I write down like me, but this took a long time to figure all this stuff out. I mean, it took years of practice in doing these things to realize this structure that I'm trying to give out. I'm just trying to give some good tips. What I've learned helps, and definitely just start out writing whatever you like, whatever you feel, whatever. You don't have to write anything specific. I just find, maybe writing about your life can help you to understand things that's hurting you, bothering you. And if you see the good things that are happening in your life and the bad, you can see, hey, my life isn't that bad, or maybe my life isn't doing so good in this area, and it shows you what you can work on.
True.
If most of your problems and negative things is over here in your relationship, you can start to work on eliminate those problems. That's the next thing I was going to say, eliminate the negative things out of your life, negative people, bad habits. That's a huge thing I've done in my life, is removing bad habits. Like when we see somebody and they're doing all these things, we think, oh, that person's a bad person. No, I think way further than that. It's people create habits, and it can make people look bad, but they may be a really great person that's doing these bad things, and we could definitely break habits, whether the habits that are bringing us down and smoking, drinking, partying, whatever habits you have that may be negative or bringing you down or making you depressed, maybe partying too much. You can just start to work on that. You don't have to make everything perfect in a day, because it won't be. It won't be. When you start to work on these things, your mind kind of changes. My mindset changed so much over the years. And I say a lot of I was always very spiritual, but more so in the past 8 years, but more so in the past 3 years, it has just changed dramatically. Like I always liked astrology, meditation, all that, but I definitely started getting into that way more, just by the want to understand people. I love people, and I've always had that curious side. I want to know people better, understand why they do this and that. And I realized astrology it's been a huge help for me on that. While some people do get offended when you talk about astrology, I notice.
Yeah.
Just they don't understand or may not know exactly what's going on. So I try not to push it a lot or anything, but I do bring it up sometimes if people get offended, but I got to be true to me.
Yeah.
Everybody has their opinions, and they're going to be true to them, and that's what I got to do too. I was always one to hold back in life and keep my own thoughts to myself, and nobody else's. So I figured, why should I? I'm still very introverted, but I let a lot out. I do speak my mind. I'll call bullfrog when I see it.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
But definitely, it's okay to make mistakes in life. We all do. That's how we learn. Definitely, exercising helped me. But you don't really feel like getting out and exercising a lot. When I was depressed, I didn't, even though I didn't sleep well, I just felt weak and tired a lot. Even a little fight today, I may not be depressed, but a little argument will make me weak instantly. It's so crazy. It drains all my energy. I'll have to take a nap. I can't think. It's unbelievable. Your thoughts and things like that can definitely affect your physical body. So you got to think about that. When you're depressed, that's definitely something that could be making you physically ill.
Absolutely. The last guest I had on, Riley, she's 16 and she's my youngest daughter's best friend. She surprised me by saying live, which I thought was great, that she had suffered through depression. And she said even something interesting, which is true. She said even the food didn't taste good to me. And I'm like, yes, everything is affected. And I just wanted to add really quick, I think everything that you said is spot on regarding our habits, because I know when I had an addiction to alcohol, because I thought that would help my anxiety and depression. Oh my God, it compiled and made it 10 times worse. So I had to look at all these different facets 100%. So I think that is so true what you said, and how everything's affected. Yes, when you're trying to it is so hard. And that's what I like about you and I, who've been in a position like that, because we know it's not just someone saying, I can't get out of bed. It's like every move I made felt like a slug, like I was pushing through something thick in the air. And so it's just my passion, like you, just to share this and share the ways and still grow and learn from other people. Like I'm learning a lot from you. And so I think that is so true. A lot goes into it, but all the things you talked about, instrumental and part of my journey.
Same. And the things I'm trying to learn, I feel like you're putting out there. Is why I immediately found interest in your channel and you. You're extremely nice.
Awesome.
You're definitely like somebody I would look to for answers and things I want to learn, things I'm interested about, and you're very understanding.
Definitely.
extremely smart. I think you're just awesome, and I'm really grateful to know you, and I'm grateful that
Likewise.
you that we're talking now. It's just great, and I think everything
Awesome.
happens for a reason. I think even we were meant to talk for
100%.
different reasons to learn. That's how you learn, and that's how you take your next step, spiritual growth. I mean,
Yeah.
each thing that happens in your life is a step forward with spiritual growth. I mean, it's
Yeah.
crazy. The good, the bad, everything.
Yes, and you can fight it. You can fight it or you can surrender because I, even would have a problem maybe a year ago or 2 years ago doing something like this because I would fight it going, oh no, she won't like me or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And so I love when you accept and you receive and you don't fight the,
Yeah.
the opposition of whatever you're trying to do.
I totally know. It's definitely something I had to work on too.
Yeah.
And I definitely, had to open up more. But
I'm
yeah.
glad we overcame it and we're doing this now.
Yes, I am so glad. I've wanted to. This is definitely what I intended for my channel. I always wanted to help others and try to be understanding in ways that I wasn't seeing out there. People need understanding and to know that they're not alone and that these things are real. And, depression is real, anxiety is real, our thoughts are real, and just the benefits of being spiritual and finding learning things and finding people, like-minded people is so important. It's so important to surround yourself with like-minded people,
Oh,
people that are on the same track as you, or if you're not that way and you see somebody you want to be like, it's good to introduce yourself to that to learn. That's how we all learn. I've learned most everything I know from other people. I
100%.
mean, if you think about it, that's how we learn. And we all have needs, and that's something that is like can definitely bring you down when you're depressed. If you feel like your needs are not being met, like when you're committed to a relationship, people don't realize that you're committing to each other's needs. And while some people just don't get it today, that's very much part of a relationship. It is. And we don't all have the same needs. What your man needs or your girlfriend needs is different from your needs. And you got to be willing to meet those needs or, be willing to try. And if you're not, it's just not going to work. There's going to be somebody unhappy. It's going to be an unfair balance. There should be equality. And, if people understand that, things will be way better off.
Yeah, that can cause depression is
Oh,
having your
yes.
needs, I mean, big time. You know what I mean? And so,
Absolutely. Yeah. When your needs are not being met and they don't even understand that concept, it's definitely
yes,
huge. It's
huge.
definitely huge. That's definitely something I want to talk about one day. We
Yes.
hopefully get into maybe
Same.
relationships.
Same.
Definitely big. So it's all about evolving, trying to be the best you, and you may not feel your best, but as long as you're pushing to being a better you, I mean, everybody wants to be better, do better, have better.
Capricorn, you'll love this because you're a Capricorn. Capricorn teacher of my son actually said the most simplest statement, but I loved it. And it's so true because my son, he was just two daughters and one son. He was all wild and crazy. Well, we'll go into that one day. But so, it was a meeting upon meeting. And she said to me after one, she goes, you know what? We're all working. Tomorrow is a brand new day. All you have to do is work every day and just
Yes.
work on it. So she's like, even if he fails, you fail this day tremendously. Her point was tomorrow's a new day. You don't have to be stuck, and that would accumulate and cause more depressive feelings in me because I would go, oh, I was that yesterday. So, you automatically, or I would think that I needed to own that and stay in that rut, and that would identify myself, so.
Right. Totally. I totally agree. Don't sweat the small stuff. Yeah. Each day is a new day. You always see, and we may feel like we're dying inside. Tree loses its leaves every year, but always comes back new the next year. We can always, you have a new day, a new sunrise, a new day come. You can start fresh. We're not perfect people. We're not supposed to be perfect. We're supposed to evolve and try. We're supposed to grow. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
And if we didn't have good and bad happening to us, we wouldn't know what good is. So like people will say, why is this happening to me? And, but we wouldn't understand truly, and we wouldn't grow if we didn't have good and bad happening to us. And I know that's hard to understand, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
How would we be grateful or know what the difference was?
So true.
So there was definitely times I needed a lot of understanding and didn't have resources, needed a listener. It's good to be a good listener, and it's definitely good to find somebody that can listen to you. Like, it's good to try to find somebody that you can talk to. I mean, I didn't have someone to talk to exactly. I mean, I had Joe when me and him first got together. That's like the beginning of when I was starting to get help for my depression. I was going through a lot. And while I was super grateful for things in my life and I was happy with him and the things we were doing, I still felt a lot of insecurities inside, and I was very depressed. And he was always extremely happy and just go lucky. And I always felt like, man, I wish I am happy with him and he's making me very happy, but I want to feel alive and happy like him. Like he definitely uh, put that influence on me that you can be happy. And I was like, well, how do I be happy like that? You know, I definitely wanted that. I don't know if you've ever run into anything like that, but that's definitely something that made me take a step and say, if I didn't, you know, my depression could have totally destroyed our relationship.
Yeah. Is he naturally lovely?
Yeah.
Is he just a naturally upbeat person just all the time? That's his demeanor. Yeah.
Super happy, upbeat, just nice. And I wanted that too. I wanted to be that. I wanted to feel that. I wanted to feel that goodness and happiness that he always felt.
Yeah, and I think that it comes to play for us when we are in that state is if we see something like that in front of us, it almost makes us feel another lack because we ruminate like, wait, what is wrong with me? Or what am I doing that I can't achieve that? That happened to me, at least.
When you're depressed, you feel flawed. You feel like you can feel like everything is coming down and everything in your life sucks, even when there's a lot to be grateful for. It's not that you're not grateful for the things in your life. It's deeper than that. It's traumas. It's things that have happened in your life. It's things that you have to discover. When I say save yourself, that's what I'm saying. You have to dig deep and you have to find the things that's going on, the reasons. And that's why I say writing it down. Like I didn't know what was going on with me. I had to write it down and then I'm like, oh my God, this is my problem. This is what I got going for me. I have this to offer. I'm actually, you know, you start giving yourself, saying affirmations, being good to yourself, saying good things. You have to be good to yourself and you have to train yourself to be like that, because when you're down, you don't feel like that. It just takes practice for sure.
Yeah, I definitely needed somebody to, I guess, it was great for me when I went, and what changed for me is going to group therapy. So this psychotherapy and hearing different people in all walks of life, all ages, all younger, older, in the same position and feeling and describing what you and I are, but being in totally different roles. Some were, you know, quintessentially nothing to worry about, I don't know, financially, whatever else, relationship, but just had felt that. And some people had tragedies. And just to hear other people accept and exchange that you're not alone, feeling not alone. So that's why reaching out to like a suicide hotline or whatever it is for depression is so, I think so important to do.
Yes, and you have to try to fix what you can, and you have to accept the things you cannot control. That's a big one that I have learned.
Especially with traumas, you know, that were done unto us.
Absolutely, yeah, and you can't always, you know, you got to find a way. Right, that's why I say writing helps, because you may feel like a lot on yourself or be blaming yourself for things that may not have had anything to do with you but affected your life. You know, that definitely writing has helped relieve me of a lot of that. That's why I say that helps. But you know, laughter helps, finding things that make you happy, doing things you love. You got to find hobbies that you like. You got to start doing you again, because you kind of lose yourself, you know, and we can all get lost. And it's just, you got to find your way again, identify, eliminate, sunshine, exercise, clear your head. It's always good to clear your head when you're getting into your depression. Clear your head first. Make time for yourself. Make space. You know, if you need to be alone, if you get angry, just separate yourself, you know.
Jessica, did you find that when you were feeling that depression, that for me, I found that all of my old hobbies and enjoyment and, you know, things that I would go to naturally, I don't know, whatever it was, you know what I'm saying? You know, even going out, you know, to walk by myself or anything like that, it disappeared. And it was so intriguing to see the healing kind of happen layer by layer as I really did at first, at least me, I had to force myself, as repetition. Okay, I'm going to try to crochet or whatever. And then you find like, well, I'll be darned, after whatever amount of time, I enjoy this and I'm not tripping on going anywhere else. And I'm sitting here and I want to do this. So it's such a drastic point, right? Did you feel like so, different, no hobbies, and then now you're like, let me go walk to the water?
Yeah. It's a huge difference, night and day. I definitely, things I enjoyed, I totally stopped doing. Even though I loved them and wanted to do them, I just couldn't bring myself to do it. Definitely. And after coming out of it, I feel like a new person. I feel like a new person, like doing all these things with my kids, my family, finding new hobbies, new things I enjoy. Just doing new things. You feel good, and it's good when you know how to handle it and things that help you to get through it, or when you're getting down, how to come out of it. Yeah, make a list of your strengths and your weaknesses. I feel like looking at that is a big one. And just, repeating good things to yourself. Those things help me. Writing, eliminating bad things out of life. I don't want to say, definitely don't want to numb your pain. Like, there were several times when I was numbing my issues and I felt great. I would feel like all those problems went away. And then as soon as the numbing wore off, all my problems were actually still there. Yeah. So while you can't cover up a leg that got broken off with a sheet and say it's gone, it's still there. Just because you're hiding it doesn't make the problem go away. You have to work to that problem. You have to work it out, because that's how your problems are going to go away. You have to work them out. You have to work through them. And you're never going to get through all your problems. You're going to have problems your whole life. But it's how you react in life. It's how you look at them, right? How you perceive things, how you look at things. I mean, you got to try to train your brain to be more positive, not think so negatively about things. Like, that's the way I was before. I was thinking so negatively about things. And now that I got the help, I only had to be on medication for I was on it 2 years. Okay. And then I got off of it because we decided we were going to have my son. And
so did I. I only had it for a little bit, 6 months. And I didn't all the stuff that you're saying,
Yeah, when I got on the medication, I found the tools that would help me, and I helped fix the problems that I was having internally and in my life. After I fixed those problems and learned how to deal with my problems, when I would have problems, I wouldn't go right back into that depression rut. I knew how to handle it. When I got my head clear and I realized what my depression was from, the things that were harming my life and me, everything got better. Once you learn how to handle these things, it gets easier.
Yeah, it's all about long-term solutions, which is what you're talking about. And then the short term was just like you're talking about the leg. It's putting the Band-Aid on a festering wound. Right. So those short-term, especially toxic, like the addiction to alcohol. It just, whenever I would come out of that state, it would seem like it was compiled, and you just
it amplifies your problems. It definitely amplifies. It doesn't fix it. Doesn't take it away. Numbing does not make your problems go away. It hides it for a short time. It makes you not think about it, but really what you need to be doing is thinking about it and working it out. And it takes time for people to realize that. It did me. I realized during that time that was what was happening. And I knew that I needed to make a change. And I wanted to make a change. I wanted my life to be good. People don't want their life to be, people don't want to be depressed or hurting. And sometimes it is a mental illness that people have that needs further help, that you may not be able to help yourself. You may not understand why. You may not be able to figure it out. And that there's therapy for people that can help you work it out. If you can't figure it out through, writing and trying to better your life and yourself and working out your problems, you can find help, find somebody to talk to. That's definitely something I'm more open to do now, is talk to people, which I wasn't before. I wouldn't talk to anybody. I still try to deal with my problems inside, and I can, and I do. I don't like to put burden on people or make people stressed. I worry about other people's problems sometimes on my own,
Yeah, I was going to ask you a question about burdens. Speaking of being able to let go of something that someone else did to you, or maybe some grudges that you held, or pain, how has letting go of some of the burdens of being unforgiving to people or circumstances, How has that helped you at all? And did you write anybody any letters, or did you just kind of say it to the universe? I let this go. I forgive people. How has that, if at all, helped you with your, ascension to coming out of depression?
I did write some letters to
Okay.
writing out my feelings to people and letting things out, definitely helpful. It definitely letting go of burdens, learning that you can't make you can't let all these problems take hold of your life. You can't let them define you. I definitely wrote some letters, and
good for you. That's
and
good.
I definitely, I wrote journals. I have journals full of stuff I wrote about, and just releasing it. I feel like releasing it, forgiving it, letting it go. I don't have to forget these things, but letting it go has been huge in my life.
Yes.
Definitely something that can definitely hold you down. Definitely huge.
Yeah.
So,
And that's good that you wrote letters, because they say if you don't even want to give them to that party, even writing that letter to them and acting like you are is a sense of release.
I've done that too. I've wrote letters and not given them, but I feel great just writing it and letting it know. Like, sometimes you don't always tell people how you feel, and that's okay, because I don't always want to release that bad feeling on them.
Yeah.
I'm definitely protective like that. Like, I think before I do things, and that's another big thing. Thinking before you can do things, because I'm not trying to push off to someone else or give them issues or problems. Like, I've learned how to deal with mine, and I don't need to give more to people. But definitely,
you take ownership of your part. I love that.
Yeah.
Do you ever read back what you wrote and kind of get surprised, like, wow, they did do that, or I do feel that? I'm like, what? Because the writing thing,
definitely. Yeah, but I do. Have you ever done that?
I do a lot. I mean, because like you said in the beginning about journaling and putting your thoughts down, sometimes I free write and it will be an eye into, when I read it back, what exactly, okay, I must be internalizing this because I'm writing an awful lot about my dad and this and that, or whatever it is.
And sometimes you see that maybe you were overreacting, but you learn from that. You see, when you write, you learn a lot about yourself. You can go back and
reacting, right?
Like, wow, okay, I could definitely work on this and this, and that's definitely what writing has helped me with so much.
It's helped me too when I write, and then I look back and I go, wow, okay, you're masking that. Like, I would be a codependent, or I would be covering up for something maybe in my relationship or otherwise. And I would say, with a third party, hey, you're letting this happen to you or whatnot. And it would make me realize the opposite, that I needed to work.
Yeah. I was like, when I was going through depression and people weren't understanding, I was like sweating the small stuff a lot. And it took me a long time to realize that, but I definitely had to break the habit. I was sweating small stuff and irritating people around me with my own problems. That's something we can all do, but I had to work on that. But getting the help and getting my chemical balance straightened out, it definitely helped me to not be sweating the small stuff. It could definitely be a chemical issue that needs help. And I definitely think that when people are going through depression, they should definitely get some advice from the doctor for sure.
Absolutely. And I love that you keep on saying, don't sweat the small stuff. I wanted to shout out my grandma. Like, I swear, I was young, so maybe early 2000s. She gave me this book, and it's still in my bookshelf, and it's called Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. And it's all about, and if I would have listened, back then, but it's like, it's all about that. Like, look at the big picture, look what you have, the things you're saying about gratitude. And instead of, thinking about like, oh my gosh, I'm late for work or whatever it is, what I mean?
I just wanted to get it out there, a lot of good things that have helped me, People have it worse. You have to think of the glass half full, not half empty, forgive yourself, forgive others. That's a big part of relieving self-depression. Doing things you like, walking, understanding yourself, making lists. I write everything down. Exercise, get sunshine, clear your head, slowly start to fix your issues, make up with family and friends.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Removing toxic people from your life, breaking bad habits, understanding yourself, that's pretty much it. I have other things, but we'll get to it another time. There's so much I could say. I could go on about all kinds of stuff. Like, I could write pages about it, but that's just the main thing I wanted to share. And
I can't wait. As much as you would like to talk about this, I am that kind of person where I don't get tired of speaking about things that we are talking about or going through emotionally or have gone through. I just feel like this is a classroom for spiritual, knowledge, and gaining this stuff is so important, and having an avenue and people who relate is so
it's
so
definitely
big. I'm
important
thankful for
to
it.
find people that you can relate with. It's definitely huge, and a lot of times I felt like I didn't have that, and for a long time I shut down from having friendships because all my friends were stabbing me in the back, and I was always such a loyal friend.
Yeah.
So it still affects me to this day. I just don't. I talk to people, but I haven't had any close friendships in years.
Same.
And that's something that still kind of brings me down. But I have to make sure that I'm not totally shutting off from the world. I talk to family and people that I'm closer with people that I wasn't so close with before.
Yeah, isn't that weird? I am too.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's like we shut ourselves off, at least I do, because I don't want to get hurt again. And I isolated so much. So I totally, and I think it was Elise, someone said the other day, it's like, you know that you're attracting the right people if you feel resonance. And there was so many times where I felt like a non-resonance, even if, bless their souls, we didn't even get any beef. It just was maybe their habits were not stopping, whatever it was. And so I'm like, okay. And so these vibes are welcomed, and we're helping, and love.
I just want to help people and, show them understanding. I definitely needed understanding so many times, and I felt like I needed advice. I needed tips, and so many times I needed tips and I didn't have it. So that's why I had to look inside and find these answers myself. That's what I say when I had to save myself. I had to find out what was wrong with me because nobody else could figure it out. I had to figure out what was wrong with me. Yeah. Nobody could just understand. I didn't even understand. How can we expect someone to help us?
Yeah.
They could be there for us and tell us, oh, it's okay. Everything's going to be all right. But really, until you're working out your own problems, nothing's going to change. If you want the change, like me, I wanted to do better, be better. So I said, okay, what am I going to do? Started doing a little bit of research. And in the past years, I've gotten into different things that have helped me spiritually, and that things that I love getting into now that keep me happy, and things that I love, like create new hobbies. But my channel is definitely one big thing I wanted to do to help other people. But I'm pretty shy and camera shy. I'm not perfect, and I don't claim to be. I'm not trying to be, but I think there's more people out there trying to help people.
Yeah.
And because we're all going through stuff, we're all going through our own battles.
Yeah.
And I think sharing knowledge is huge. Sharing what you know. That's why I like you. You share so much stuff, and I've learned so much watching your channel. And I really like one thing, like my mom, my poor mom. I love her so much, Mom. If you're watching, I love you to pieces. Can't wait to talk to you. She taught me everything about loving people, loving my kids, and doing things for your family. Like I get happy when I do things for my family, and I see my family smiling, cooking them dinner, doing stuff with my kids, taking them to sports. When I see my family happy, that's when I feel best. Like my grandma used to say when we'd go visit, she'd be giving my son all the attention. She goes, "You ever get jealous?" I said, "No." I said, "I'm happy. Give him all the attention. I don't want it. I want him."
You're happy for the attention for him. Yeah.
I feel good at giving him the attention. That's why I brought him over.
Yes.
And she was always worried, didn't want me to get upset because she loved me to pieces. But what I was going to say, sometimes the news or what's going on in the world will get my mom upset or worried. And I hate that. I know these things are going on, but sometimes you got to turn off the TV, turn off the phone, let it go, but she likes TikTok. How do we learn? We read, do whatever.
Yeah.
But we both learned a lot off there. It's interesting. Awesome. And we keep up with stuff. But sometimes you have to turn off the TV. Doing that in my life has helped me a lot, turning off the TV, because really it's called a paid programming. It's because it's programming our minds.
100%.
There's so much more to it. Maybe we'll get into it eventually. But
for sure.
Music can affect you. TV can affect you. Turning off the TV in my life has helped my life. I don't know how, but it has a lot. I'm seriously, I don't watch near as much TV. I'll listen to it, like my family will watch it in the other room. I'll listen to it while I'm cooking, but a lot of it's crap. And the stuff
I got in a bad habit.
Okay, these days
bad habit, because I had gotten a bad habit of watching the news because I had not for so long, but then COVID came out. I thought, oh, I'm doing my diligence as a mother watching it. And then I was just straight up like I was after September 11th, like watching every single thing. You know, it was unhealthy for me. You know?
Because we feel like they make it to where you can trust us. Everything we say is the truth, and that's who we rely on for our truth. You know, we're supposed to be able to rely on them for truth, but that does not mean they're giving it. And we find out they're lying about a lot of stuff. It's really
so much.
I get crushed when I hear about a story and I'm like picking a side, and the next day I find out it's all a lie. I get so mad. I'm like, I can't believe anything I see anymore.
Yeah, I learned.
Yeah, it's terrible. So give everything a couple days and the truth comes out, you know.
Right. Or a couple of decades sometimes. Like, I mean, literally, there's so much that my dad, you know, he would always talk about shade, even JFK assassination, all this stuff. I used to go, well, that's possible. Now I'm like, oh, it's probable. There's so much you know, corruption and things that are covered up. And then years later or the days later or whatever, we'll find out we're like, oh, I feel like a simp, or I will be like, I feel like a simp for investing so much in there. So that's why I try to keep more open mind. That also helps me with anxiety and depression, not to be solidified and go, like you said, charge, you know?
Yeah, I try to keep an open mind. Like, me and my cousin, we used to argue about the topic of God and Jesus, and we used to get in arguments. He's a little bit older than me, but he would always say that I was the closed-minded one. I was like, really, you believe there's no God, and you think I'm closed-minded? I think you're closed-minded. You believe it came from nothing, you know. I think I'm more open-minded if I think, you know. I won't get into it too much right now, but
I love that. We should go on.
Interesting. And maybe some stuff I shouldn't say, but we'll talk more about some stuff, some cool stuff.
Yeah, we will.
But anyway, so over the past couple of years, I've really gotten into liking, you know, astrology. I don't know everything, and I don't. Making this video, I'm not saying I know everything or have all the answers. I'm just trying to give out some tools that can help some people, because these things really help me, and if they help somebody, I think that's great.
Yeah, we're not professors, but people can be teachers, even if you run into them in the
grocery store. Out there.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to put it out there to help somebody. You know, that's what, you know. If I knew I helped one person, like that would be huge to me. I'm a giver, and that's another thing that's helped me a lot, is being a giver. You know, one more thing about depression: saying no and setting up boundaries is a big thing. Oh my God, boundaries is huge. Like,
people pleasing.
I had a big problem with people overriding my boundaries, and I just let it ride. Always, I had a problem. I couldn't say no. I was just easily ran over. I definitely became a lot stronger over the years, and and my mindset has changed so much just from 25 to 30. I think age makes a difference too when you're learning about yourself, and I was trying to find out who I was and, you know, things in life. But
I appreciate every word.
So
every single word, and shout out to
your glad that you I'm
blessed to have like a good, like, I'm only child, so she's my best friend, and we're totally opposite, but I love her. She's definitely someone who is one of my pillars of support throughout whatever, and I've been through some hot mess stuff, you know, so I appreciate that you shouted out your mom. And
moms are great, and even like, I know, like, my husband used to say that even if he was wrong, his mom would stand by him, and I just think that's great. You know, moms are important, you know, and even if we're wrong, people have that support. Support is so important, having somebody that supports you in life and is there for you. My mom is so supportive of me. She always was, and I love her to death.
That's how you are. You can already tell by your energy to your kids. It's beautiful when you watch your video. It's just, it's that story that you just said in a nutshell about that captures everything, and that's beautiful, because I feel that way too. I'm like, what do you mean would I get jealous if you're gonna go with the kid by myself? You know what I mean? I'm happy that 10 times over, you know, like
I'm happy when my family's happy. That's what makes me happy, for sure.
A happy early birthday, right? Shout out to Logan.
Happy birthday. And shout out to your family.
That's awesome. That the years go by, I'm telling you, quicker and quicker.
Unreal. I still remember the day I found out I was pregnant with my son. I was working at the Cracker Barrel, and I knew it was something right. My stepmother-in-law was making dinner that night, and the smell made me not feel good. And we were trying, so and I knew time had passed, and it was probably, but that night after I got off work, I found out I was pregnant. It was the craziest, happiest moment of my life.
Right?
And I always said I wasn't gonna have kids until I was
Did
like
you?
30, and then you never know. Things change. Things can change. I decided I wanted kids and that I wanted to raise kids while I was young, and I love kids. But before I wasn't exactly loving kids. I didn't hate them, but I didn't think much of them.
Yeah.
Now that I have kids, I love
Change,
kids. I love babies. Yeah, I love babies.
Yeah, me too. Girl, wait till you're like me and you get to where your like youngest is 16 and then 19, 23, and you're like going around stalking the neighbors, wanting to knock on the door and be like, can I rock that?
Oh my God, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, now we got kids showing up every day. Can they play? Can they play? Can we play on your trampoline? Can we play in your pool? Can we play with your animals? Okay. Come on. So cute. Practically a swinging door.
Yeah.
Revolving door.
Say the Kool-Aid mom or whatever back in, it's so cool. That's cool. And that's something that your kids are going to always remember. It's like, I definitely appreciate that.
Yeah.
Oh, what good vibes, girl. You did blessing to my life, and anybody who hears this, anybody at all who hears this is going to resonate. And truly, I think that your words spoke volumes. I really, really think that you did amazing. It's like whenever you say things about me, I feel like you put things very, very eloquently that I can understand.
Thank you. I try, and I know I'm forgetting things, but we're going to try to put out more. Yeah. And, there's things I'll remember later that I wish I would have said. I'm always that way, but we'll make more videos, and I can't wait can I share that about Saturday? Saturday, we're going to have a video, guys, on Shanny's channel, Healing Elements. Please check it out, 7:00 Saturday, Eastern time, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And and we're doing the spiritual growth topic, right? I think.
Yes.
Okay, I'm excited about that.
Excited, and then the following Sunday we're gonna have free talk with the girls on spiritual stories. Anything we want to talk about. There's gonna be me, her, and maybe a few other girls. We're really excited. It should be great. Maybe you'll learn something. Maybe you'll hear a good story. I've definitely got good stories. I've got all kinds of stories. I'm getting old. It's almost January.
Oh my gosh. It's so crazy. Like when you were like, I know you're a Capricorn, and I'm like, oh, your birthday is like 6 months. Didn't this year go by quick? I don't know.
Oh my God. Super fast. It's super fast. Like wicked fast.
Wicked fast.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. I agree. Wicked fast. I'm like, whoa. So no, I had the best time. I appreciate, and I will totally welcome any kind of interaction, including the girls, and of course on Saturday. So I guess I'm not sure if it was live. If so, that's all good.
Just one more thing.
Okay.
So do you still have issues with depression?
I thought I did not. And I came to the realization in April of this year that the COVID closure and me being at home and all the changes and watching my son not being able to do junior prom, it was closed down. The whole school closed down. Senior, he didn't he graduated, but not on stage because of the COVID, and he never saw a classroom. There was a lot of things that I thought that I was processing, and I was doing all the work, but then I noticed things were starting to add up that I noticed to keep an eye on. That's something we can talk about again, is the cues, right, for yourself. So I thought, okay, my weight gain, I thought, oh, I'm wanting to totally, because I like makeup. I like being a girly girl my whole life, not for ego, but just, so I noticed, I'm like rolling out of bed and really like in the same jammies for a couple of days. So there were things that I was noticing during that period that up until April this year, I had to check myself and do some reflecting and journaling and being like, okay, I don't need to feel embarrassed or that it's a stigma to say a depressive, time, because my doctor also diagnosed me with that. I think it's like acute depression. It comes on and off, based on grief or whatever it is.
Right.
Yeah. And so, yes, I was noticing it coming on. So I will fight that my whole life.
Yeah, there's all kinds of depression that people can suffer. And I think COVID has definitely set some people back, and it's definitely, affected me and my family. I get anxiety and I worry a lot. And it's definitely affected a lot of people, and I worry. Yeah. And I worry for the kids when they were out of school. There's been a lot of suicide down here, and it's really scary. It is. Scary. I feel for the kids. I want to eventually have something. I always come up with ideas and have ideas for things that can be done. I just don't have resources to put things in action, but there definitely needs to be more programs for everybody and youth, for for somebody that they could talk to, just somebody they could talk to or somebody they could turn to. There's
Oh,
definitely hotlines, but I'll put something in the link.
I should shout it out. Yeah, I went to this awesome thing. It came about because I'm a football fan. I'm a Raider fan. And it's called Hope. Oh, Hope for Nevada. Yeah, Nevada. I'm going to send it to you and you can put a link, but it is for youth. They had a great presentation about the stigma of mental wellness and coming out and reaching out for help. And they sent me, I won a raffle. It's like so abundant when you go there for the right reasons. And I was, chiming in and saying about my son and that they sent me this, and it's for, I believe, depression. It's called the Columbia Protocol. And I believe this was started because I think someone might succumb to their act. You know what I mean? And so they're trying to obviously get awareness out for prevention of suicide.
It can happen to anybody. Depression can happen to
Anybody.
kids. It can happen to women, men, young, old, happy people, healthy people. It does not discriminate. Anybody can be depressed, and you should always try to get help. See somebody, talk to somebody. Definitely do not let it go. It's definitely something that can affect your life. Speaking of somebody who's been suicidal, and I've had several friends commit suicide, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate. It's serious, it's scary, and things can get better.
Yes.
And you can definitely find help. I've had times where I thought there's no chance I can be better, and I've gotten better.
100%. And that's the word that I want you to keep on pushing, because if I had just maybe me or you had just heard that from the right, I guess, person who you could be like, oh, they're humble and they're talking from their heart, maybe that would have gotten me a little bit sooner. No shoulda, woulda, coulda, but I just think that this is so necessary right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. It's why I've been pushing to put it out, because, people are feeling down and bad.
Yes.
They don't know what to do. They don't understand. They don't know what's going on. I'm just trying to give out some tools that helped me. And it's definitely so important to not be ignored.
Yeah.
If you know somebody, and I definitely know from experience, I'm the type of person to put on a smile and go.
Yeah.
Upset, you would not know. Sometimes the people that are smiling the most are the ones that are hurting the most.
Robin Williams, you know what I mean? It's like, I just spoke on that yesterday. It's like so true. And then there's the stigma.
Smile doesn't mean they're okay. Always talk to people. If you care about people, even if you don't know them and somebody needs to reach out to, I definitely believe that. I'll ask people if they're okay. I don't know them.
Me too. You can change a life with one word. You can make them feel loved. Seriously.
Sometimes. And also throwing out love out there. Like if you see somebody and you see something nice, or you want to complimenting people, can definitely change somebody's day. It could change somebody's life. I know that being nice to people when they're mean to you can definitely change people. I've had people be total S-heads to me, and I will just be nice, smile at them anyway, and later they come back and apologize for being such an ass.
So true.
And realize, and they think about it, and they change. So I'm saying influencing is huge. Like,
yes,
treat people right. Treat people how you want treated. You don't have to have a bad attitude. Like, that's like one of my pet peeves is rotten attitudes. Like,
me too.
I've had one before, but I know that, people are going to work with you better if you don't,
True.
I don't like rotten attitude,
but hey, we all go through it. Yeah. I mean, we do, and it's a brave thing.
I have it. Rotten sometimes. We all can be.
That's that shadow work, admitting, and being vulnerable enough to talk.
I'm definitely not a perfect person. As long as we're working and evolving and trying to be a better us, that's what you're supposed to do. That's why we're here. We're here to grow, spread love, and
it is
share
true.
Happiness, share knowledge.
Yeah.
That's what I love. That's all about you, sharing your knowledge. I think that's
what we'll never stop.
Share knowledge, not just repeated.
Yes.
Nothing. It's just I won't diss anybody on YouTube, but a lot of crap just redone over and over. I just want some real stuff to watch. Like if there was some more stuff like yours, which there is, I don't meditation, how other people meditate, remote viewing and all of that, and astral projection. I love all that.
Me too.
I want to do all that.
It's fun to learn about it. I know it's so fun. It's calling, and I love that. So maybe on the Girl Talk, I can speak on that a little bit because I'm so enthusiastic about it too. I want to share and learn, and I love it.
Definitely. Maybe we can learn something. I
100%.
am freezing. I'm cold. I'm gonna go
All right,
and
girl.
coffee, get ready for bed. Thank you
Okay.
so much for being here. I am super grateful for you taking your time to come on my channel.
You're welcome.
You inspired me because I have definitely taken a step back and I let my fears take over, and I totally stopped doing what I planned on doing, and I put videos of my kids on because I want to have those videos forever. And some of them blew up, but I mean, that wasn't my intention. So I put them on there for us. And maybe if somebody saw a family or something, that'd be great. But I always intended to have a channel to help others, to reach out to others, to give understanding and learn myself. Like, you know,
It's awesome.
so
Just
I'm
it's
really
cool.
grateful.
People
Thank
can give each
you.
other the same thing because you're giving me exactly that. You
Good.
know?
I'm glad. I'm really glad.
All right,
And
girl. Well,
look
get
forward
those
to talking
babies.
Saturday and next Sunday. I'm super excited.
Me
Thank
too.
you. And
All right, beautiful.
everybody go subscribe to
Oh,
Healing
thank you.
Elements. She's got a great channel. She is a very smart lady you can learn a lot from, especially if you're on a spiritual journey or have questions about yourself. Feel free to message her, ask her questions.
Love
If
it.
she doesn't want to answer them, she'll tell you it's not her style. She's very nice and understanding. And thank you for watching. Thank you for joining. Subscribe, like, comment below, ask questions if you like. And yeah, thank you.
All
Thank
right,
you.
sweetie.
And I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, I can't wait.
Awesome.
Bye. What an awesome talk, guys.
Yes.
Hey, woo.
Bye.